Okay, let's take a look at the readings. Okay, we're on the bridge, and we have 11.14. Okay, is that all the way up? Yep. The middle, 5.4K. And the neck is a whopping 4.5K. Wow. That's a low number, but because of its position, you know, it makes it sound much louder than it would normally be if it was basically back here. All right, that's that. The other, geez, this jack is even hard to come out without it being the angled one. Okay, so the other thing I want to do before anything else is to let's look under the hood. Well, actually, this is not a hood. This is what I call the trunk. Oh, I got a new drill because my other one, what does that belong to? That belongs to something. I put something away without putting the tailpiece on. I'll have to go looking for it. Oh, I think I know. I think it belongs to the Grove. Okay, no big surprise. It's exactly like I expected, except for all the white compound. Clean in the front, not so clean in the back. Tons of white stuff down in the bottom there. Tons of white stuff down in the bottom there. See, look at that. Wow, quite a lot. So I expected the pots. I never checked the tone cap, but I'm sure it's a 47. It is. Looks like I am just going to have enough space with this cover to get a wafer in, since the cover sits atop. Yes, it should give me enough space between there and the bottom to get in a wafer switch, so that's good. It has shielded wiring for most of the stuff. No, I'm sorry, that's just from the pickups. The rest of it is not shielded, standard plastic wire. All right, let's look under this part. It's a brand new drill. It's not brushless, and the brushes are just burning themselves in. Smells. I can smell the burning brushes on the carbon. All right, so no big shocker in there. I'm going to measure this, and like I said, I think there's some brass blocks on Temu. Wow, that's tight. Holy mac. Ugh. Yeah. Ooh, really, really taut springs. The springs are way better than the ones I got on the West Creek Fender version guitar, the JX20. These are really, really heavy duty. I think they'll go well with a larger block here. So I'm just doing you know, some previewing of what I think I'm going to do. There's definitely room for another pot in there. 6 saddles, I should say 6 screws on the saddle, on the bridge. It's so tight, that's why I didn't have any bridge tuning problems. So yes, now that we know that, I am going to do, as per usual, is use these factory strings to replace a nut. Get it dialed in for the height and get a shim set up in there and see how long they'll last. I see these saddles, what they did is that they, in order to go with the radius, they didn't actually just make them step. They actually slanted them a little bit as well, and that could be just, you know, poor setup. But yeah, they should all be squared across that way, but stepped to match the radius. Well, as it turns out, I don't have any bone nuts in stock, but I do have some new bones by Tusk. I have a black one, and I have some of the cream ones, all of which are wide enough. By the way, it's 42. All of which are wide enough to fit in the current slot. Just need to take a little bit of meat off to get it in there. Not a whole lot. And I've mentioned this before, and for anybody that's listening that hasn't heard it before on my channel, don't go to the belt sander with these new bones or Tusks. They melt like polycarbonates on a high-speed sander, so you got to go with something flat with sandpaper to take off the little bit that you need to make it fit in the slot. The old one is definitely a polycarbonate, and it's a solid. It's not hollow on the inside. It's not a molded polycarbonate. The low E string was kind of hunkered in there. It's cut really strangely. Anyway, it clunked on the way out, the top two, E and the A. And I can feel the ridges along the side. It is flat. I've got the glue off. There was not a lot of glue on the bottom. It was just at both ends and a lot here along the side, which I used the trusty knife to kind of scrape off the edge here and cut it so that it would come out nicely. So that was it. There was none on the back, just these 3 spots. A little persuasion was required, but not a lot. Now, I don't know if the height of these nuts that I have are going to be enough, but we're going to start with the black one. Let me see if these are all 42s, and the overall height of the beige one is 5.09 millimeters, and 5.13 millimeters. So I'm going to start with the black one. I think a black nut on this guitar will look fine, seeing as how we have the black headstock. So we're just going to take a little bit of meat off on here. I'm going to do the, what's this? I've got, what is it there, 180 and 240 here, I think. We're just going to flatten it off a little bit here on the softer 240. And see if just a flattening will work. Because when you sand it, you can see that it's not even everywhere, right? There's a shiny spot right here, and then there's a satin spot there where it was sanded. It's kind of like sanding a body of a guitar. You get shiny spots, which means that it's not completely flat until it's all satin looking or all smoothed out everywhere, Ted. Alright, so let's see what that did, if anything. Give me, yeah, not that much. Not that much. We're not going to go aggressive with the 180. All right, almost all gone now, the shine. We're good. We're good. All right, I got the black nut to fit in. There was a little bit of glue in there that was causing it not to fit in on one place. Did it go all the way down on that side? Yeah. It's a perfect fit, width-wise. The thickness, the height, I'm just wondering about. The height I'm just wondering about because it's really, really, really close to that first fret. And I have one other one that's a little bit taller in the beige, which I could try if I run into problems with this one. So I've got all the strings except for the B tuned up to pitch just to get some tension on things and check the truss rod. And I'm gonna see if I can just give it a touch. Can I find it? There was a dark hole in there before when I looked in there, but I didn't have a flashlight. Come on, turn on. Wow. It's dark. I'm not sure what's in there. I can't find any threads for this to grip onto. Stand by. Okay, I found what happened. They just left all the white compound in there and sprayed the black over the top of it, and that's why there was no hole. So now I found a hole for the Allen key. So over the first fret, perfectly good at 16th thou, and it's fitting 18th thou on that side. Let me see what's going on the other side. The other side I usually go for 16, and I just wanted to check the outside one first. It works, and so does the G. So I'm suspecting the B is also going to work. And with that, what is my action height at the moment? Did it come down much? Probably not. Yeah, it's 5. So it came down a millimeter, but not on that side. Yeah, that one's really high. Okay. So maybe a tiny shim. Maybe there's already a shim in there. We shall find out. How's it look in the pocket there? See, it's nice in the pocket there. And on this side, it's good down here, not up there. Not tight, but I mean, I've seen worse. I've seen worse. There could be a shim already. There could be. And most likely, these screws are biting in the body. So we've got the hole as we would have expected on this level of guitar. Let's see what we got in the front. That's quite taut. No shim. No shim. Okay. We're going to clean that up. And yes, that's biting in the body. There's a lot of paint in the pocket. Which could be flattened out. And they also drilled this way to the body to be able to get the wires to go underneath there, through there, and they left a divot which I can't show you with the camera angle at the moment. But yeah, they were a little bit low, and they left a divot here in the pocket. This is a very soft wood. Okay, before we get much further, oh, and there's a little bit of a lip there. Further ado, I'm going to do a little cleanup of this pocket and the back of the neck. Get the fray off. And then we'll see where we need to go from there. I don't know if I can show you that. No, I don't think I can, but anyway, with the strings on there and the blue, there's a little bit of a divot here where the drill bit went through. It's quite an ugly hole. I'll take a picture of it and I'll get a close-up shot of this and post it up behind me so you can see what I'm going to start working with before I start sanding on it with my homemade tools. Okay, so I found out the first time I took the neck off and tried to put it back on that one of these holes are stripped out. It was too big. And the other ones are just barely going in there, about a ½ an inch. Yeah, those are not too bad. I think I might put a little dowel in the bottom of the hole anyway, just to give it a little bit more bite. They're drilled a little deep, I think. So this one is bigger. I'm going to pop that one in with some persuasion and a little bit of wood glue. And I'm going to let these things sit for a while until I come back to it. This one's going to be really tight. Really tight. I left a little bit too much. Well, I'll get it with a chisel. Now the other ones, this is too big to go in the hole. There. That'll set up. We'll call it fixed. We'll probably just have to give that a tiny little drill out afterwards. It should be good. Okay, it has to sit. I'm done for now. I got to go look for parts that I think I might want to put on this thing.